Megalodon, the largest predator ever to rule the oceans. But in those same waters, at the same time, there was another monster. A predator with teeth that were every bit as terrifying. So here's the question. If Megalodon was one of the ocean's ultimate predators, who was the other monster that could have challenged it? In the deserts of Peru, Klaas Post, a researcher from the Rotterdam Natural History Museum, was on a field expedition. For weeks, they had found almost nothing. Then came the final day, and from the earth, an upside-down, broken skull began to emerge. When scientists cleaned it, they were stunned. This skull was almost 3 meters long. That's longer than a small car. And inside it were teeth more than 36 centimeters long. This wasn't just any whale's skull. These were the teeth of a predator, a whale built to hunt other whales. Scientists named it Livyatan melvillei. The name came from Leviathan, the sea monster of the Bible, and Herman Melville, the 19th century author who wrote Moby Dick, a story centered around a gigantic whale. But the name wasn't the most important part. What mattered more was the question this discovery opened. Nature has a rule. In every ecosystem, there is usually one dominant predator. But in the Pisco Formation, the fossil record shows evidence of both. 2 enormous apex predators living in the same marine ecosystem. And that's where the problem begins. 2 apex predators sharing the same ocean. So the question is, what weapons did each of them have? Megalodon, an armored bulldozer. Think about the power behind its bite. If a car had been caught in front of those jaws, it could have been crushed in seconds. And this isn't just imagination. In Peru's Pisco Formation, whale fossils still bear deep megalodon bite marks. Some bones were even cut through completely. But Livyatan had a very different kind of power. It had fully developed functional teeth in both jaws, something modern sperm whales no longer have. And inside its enormous skull was a massive supracranial structure associated with the spermaceti organ found in sperm whales. Modern sperm whales use this system to produce extremely powerful clicks and for echolocation. Did Livyatan hunt using a similar sound-based system? We still don't know for certain. Until now, we've been thinking this was simply a question of weapons. Whose teeth were bigger? Whose jaws were more powerful? But the real question turned out to be something else. Here's the question. Did these 2 predators ever actually come face to face? Science has no definitive answer. There is no fossil, nothing that proves these 2 ever fought. And even if they did come close to one another, the encounter wouldn't have been just about teeth and jaw strength. One was a shark, Megalodon. The other, a toothed whale, Livyatan. One relied on sensing movement through the water. The other possessed a sensory system, similar to what we see in modern sperm whales. But did they actually see each other as prey? That's something the fossil record simply doesn't tell us. And perhaps that's what makes this story so fascinating. We can see the 2 monsters, but we can't see the battle between them. And perhaps that's the most important part of this story. These 2 monsters didn't have the same ending. Livyatan disappeared from the fossil record before Megalodon did. Megalodon continued to rule the oceans for millions of years. So the question we started with, who won? the answer wasn't decided in a single battle. We started with one question. Who was the other monster that could challenge Megalodon? We found two monsters and tried to find the battle between them, but the fossil record doesn't give us a battle. It only tells us there was a time when the oceans held not one, but two apex predators. Leviathan disappeared first. Megalodon, millions of years later. Maybe the real mystery isn't who won. Maybe it's how did two predators this powerful share the same ocean for so long? If you think these two would have fought, who do you think would have won? Tell me in the comments.